What do you think of when you think of an aggressive person?
Someone that's really physical and really angry. A man. I think of a man when I think of aggression.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The definition of aggression in academia is kind of a behavior done with the intent to harm an individual who's motivated to avoid receiving that behavior. So there's different types of aggression. There's like physical aggression, verbal aggression, and relational aggression, where you aggress upon the relationships that somebody has by spreading rumors, gossip, or excluding them from events. In psychology, we need to find ways to measure aggression in order to study it. So in this episode, we'll go over 5 more of the fun methods that psychologists have developed to measure aggression. Then we'll discuss a few examples of ways that researchers induce aggression in participants. Those are some of my favorite.
Oh, let's piss this person off. That's fun.
Yep. And you need to do it in like ways that they don't realize that it's happening. Because if you realize that the experimenter is trying to induce aggression, it kind of blunts the effect of it. So you need to deceive them and kind of trick them into getting pissed off. It's funny. Welcome to Psych Papers, a podcast of bad content where we discuss the most interesting psychological studies, concepts, and conduct our own research as well. I'm Chris Cole. I have a PhD in experimental psychology, and this is Joseph Tajaran.
His friend. Now, this is a poor choice of words for this episode, Chris, because as we both know, offline, I've been accused of having very aggressive language in my interactions in my several workplaces.
Yeah.
I worked at. So I'm incredibly triggered because I'm always accused of like, Joseph, your tone comes off a little aggressive. It's a little off-putting for the group. The amount of times I've gotten...
Does that anger you?
It does, and it makes you be more angry. It doesn't subdue me. Because my interpretation of how I talk is how I talk. I just normal. But apparently for some people, when I'm impassioned, it comes off as aggressive.
The way you just said, for some people, like, damn, that was aggressive.
Dude, chill out, dude. The podcast
Calm down.
I had someone coach me in how I should talk. And I have to use more passive language. I have to use a softer voice.
I think that would piss me off.
It's upsetting, right? Because it's like, yo, this is how I talk.
I've been talking my whole life.
I'm not aggressive. What do you get? Where does that come from?
Okay, so this first measure is probably our spiciest measure. Okay, it's called the hot sauce paradigm. A spicy meatball.
The hot sauce paradigm?
Yep. I know, it sounds like a I don't know, a conundrum.
It sounds like a dance move in the early aughts.
Yeah. Participants have to prepare a plate of food for another person. It's a fake person, but they think it's a real person.
Okay.
Participants, they will read the other person's food preferences, which tells them that they hate hot and spicy foods. Then they're given a plate of food, usually something bland like chips or crackers, and they're given a bottle of hot sauce, and they're given an opportunity to put as much hot sauce as they want on the plate of food, believing that the other person will have to eat it in the study. Okay. And the amount of hot sauce that's added is used as the measure of aggression. So the more hot sauce you add, the more aggressive that person is feeling.
Okay. Feels like a stretch, but all right, I'm following.
Yeah. So this is basically a measure of like how much physical pain you want to put on someone.
Oh, classic experimental psychology.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
How much pain can I inflict on another human being? How hot is the hot sauce?
Keep my tenure.
Yeah. And publish this paper.
So you find out somebody hates hot and spicy food. You're like, hey, prepare a plate of food for them. Do you want to add hot sauce? If you're feeling kind of aggressive or pissed off, you're gonna be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck them. Let's fuck them up.
Yeah.
If you're feeling nice, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna add any.
Right. Yeah.
So again, how much pain do you want to put on someone? Which is basically most of these tasks. Especially this next one. It's called the cold presser task. So this involves having participants suggest how long another fake person, suggesting how long they should have to hold their hands under like ice cold water, which can either be for 0 seconds or all the way up to 80 seconds. the longer you make somebody hold their hands under cold water, the greater the aggression score.
What would be the setup for this? So I have this mechanism for measuring it. Is the setup like, hey, this person fucking hates you. Here's some hot sauce. They don't like it. They don't like hot sauce, by the way.
Yeah. So
is that
it
essentially how
might be like
yeah.
it might be trying to see, okay, how do people, you might do a study on like intergroup prejudice.
Okay.
You know, so being like, hey, this person is from this country, you're from this country, you know, how much hot sauce do you want to add to them? And maybe that could be a measure of like how aggressive they feel toward this other group.
Right.
Or it could be anything. It could be political ideology or, you know, any made up group. You could say, hey, you're on the blue team. This other person is on the yellow team and you're preparing a plate of food for them. That minimal group paradigm is probably enough to get people to like aggress on somebody on the opposite team more than them, compared to if you were like, hey, Joseph, you're on the blue team. This other person is also on the blue team. How much hot sauce do you want to add?
That's
probably
interesting.
add less.
Is that interesting you mentioned that? Guys, oftentimes like in class when you're like paired up in groups, especially when the teacher sets it up to be like a competitive thing, I do two things. One, I always made the team my name, so it'd be Team Joseph.
Pretty aggressive.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive. Then I start attacking the other team, saying like, man, these guys got. I started like booing them when they go up to the chalkboard. I started nagging people. I was like, is that the best you got? Come on, buddy.
Oh my god.
That's pretty aggressive.
And you're like, why do all my coworkers think I talk aggressively?
What did I do? I don't get it.
Joseph, you can't boo your coworkers giving a presentation. I went to a camp where they very randomly would just split you into two teams. It was basically like red and blue team. And that was your team like for life. Like if you went back to that camp a year later, you were always on the same team. And they would have like, you know, like these camp-wide games, red versus blue, capture the flag, whatever. And people would get aggressive. And it's like these teams were assigned off like a flip of a coin. But there were like friendships and cliques that formed based on this like just team assignment. And it's like, oh my god.
That's the fascinating part, because I've done that in camps or like in like when I used to work with kids. We used to do that all the time, just arbitrarily make teams. But the interesting part is when you go back and you are still the same team, because now you built like a history of the people in that team.
Yeah, and you develop like a pride of your team.
Yeah.
And it's like you could have been assigned to the red team if I flipped the coin differently. Yeah. And then this next one involves electric shocks and noise blasts.
What's with fucking psychologists and electric
Psychologists
shocks?
are weird, man. Because, okay, no, I'll tell you exactly why. Electric shocks are a painful stimulus that don't leave there's no permanent damage. It doesn't leave a scar. You know, it's instant and it doesn't you don't bleed. There's no cuts. Like there's no damage other than the damage that you intend to cause. That sounds bad, but
you get a more intense reaction, right? When it happens, you're like, you can clearly tell when someone's feeling pain. You'll communicate that verbally, yeah.
And it's very easily quantifiable. You know, you just go up in voltage.
Okay.
So you can easily say, oh, this shock was twice as strong as the other.
That's somehow.
What do you want? Psychologists to come in and fucking square up and punch a participant?
Hey, Richard, sit over here. So we're here to. No, don't mind the guy. Don't mind him winding up.
Is he winding up?
Don't mind my assistant, Chris. Yeah, relax, Richard. Well, let me talk to you for a second.
Focus on me. Focus on me.
All right.
Focus on me.
I really can. I really feel like he's gonna.
Now we just need you to sign here and here, and then we'll be good to go.
Okay. Look, you want to get this? You want these college credits or not, or whatever incentive they provided on the grads?
$10. You want $10?
You want a free lunch? Want some soup?
Yeah. You want some crackers with hot sauce?
So these three These two right now are basically measurements of how the more pain you provide, I assume the higher voltage, the hotter the sauce
Hmm.
or whatever. That's
Yes.
how you
So this
measure it.
next one with electric shock and noise blast, it's one of the most commonly used lab-based measures of aggression.
Noise blast does not sound good to me.
Noise blast is not good. I was like, I guess there's no other better word, blast,
This
but it
go
sounds so. That sounds aggressive. Let me blast you. So it's called the competitive reaction time task.
Okay.
It's a modified version of the Taylor aggression paradigm. So participants play against either a real or fictitious player in a reaction time game. So whoever responds first to something popping up on the screen wins, and then they get an opportunity to administer a painful stimulus to the loser. In the original version, it's electrical shocks that get administered, and the winner can choose the intensity of the shock.
Okay.
In the more common version, the painful stimulus is a noise blast, and the winner controls the intensity and the duration of the blast. So aggression is measured by the intensity and duration of the noise blast chosen by the participant. Sometimes you want to measure aggression in the context of romantic relationships.
Oh, okay.
So this next one gave couples the opportunity to put the other person in pain.
Nice.
So this one didn't have a name. I called it uncomfy body positions.
Okay.
The uncomfy body position paradigm. Make it sound fancy. Both members of romantic couples came to the lab for this one. Participants were
Okay.
told to make their partners hold physically painful body poses for a certain amount of time.
Physically painful
Physically.
painful body poses. So like maybe standing on your tippy toes.
So these
Maybe
were basically very difficult yoga poses.
okay, that's a better way. I was gonna
Mhm.
come up with more stupid examples. So I'm glad you cut in before I embarrass
Mhm.
myself. Okay, so uncomfortable or difficult yoga poses. Gotcha.
Yep. And
Um.
you would have to hold them. They would be strenuous.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And so the researchers explained that the couple would be doing a two-person activity where one person, the actor, had to perform poses, and the other person, the director, got to decide how many poses and how long each pose would last.
Okay.
So basically, participants were given the chance to purposely make their partners experience physical pain.
Okay.
Yeah. They could choose, they could make their partner hold poses between 5 to 120 seconds for each position.
Okay.
And they also tried to control, they also asked afterward, like, does your partner do yoga? If they do, how many times a week? Because that would obviously
That would
be a potential confounding variable.
sure. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have very unathletic couples for this
Yeah.
study to have it be
Yeah.
very effective. Do you work out? No, yeah, we don't work out. Perfect.
Great. Come on in.
Great. Here's we
We
have
got
your
crackers
$50.
if you're hungry.
Yeah, we have $50 Visa gift cards. That's interesting. I can't foresee myself doing that to my own partner. I mean, you know her; she's very kind. Okay, so, but there's a
Well,
wrinkle in this. But
okay. So that's how you measure the aggression.
okay,
So before this, we would want to induce aggression.
okay.
So if we could somehow create some type of conflict between you guys, so we kind of make you guys have a fight, and then you're given an opportunity to make her hold hard yoga poses.
This is why I got into research, Chris, because you heard this stuff and you're like, oh, this sounds really fun.
So yeah, you would want to induce aggression or induce some type of relationship conflict, and then give you guys an opportunity to inflict pain.
So you're bringing up some dirty laundry for this research study.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The last one to measure aggression though is my favorite.
Okay.
It's the voodoo doll task.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. So the researchers for this one, their thinking was that people transfer characteristics of other individuals onto inanimate objects representing that person. So participants
Okay.
experience a situational manipulation designed to stimulate an aggressive urge. Then
Okay.
they're given a voodoo doll of their significant other. And depending on experimenters tell them that since some parts of the study may have been negative, they get an opportunity to release some negative energy by stabbing the doll with as many pins as they wish. The number of pins that they stab into the doll represent their level of aggression.
Right. But and does the partner see the outcome of this? On the other side?
No, they don't.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
While it's great to be able to measure aggression, to properly study it, we also need to be able to induce aggression. And so these are methods on inducing aggression. And again, this is going back to what you're saying, like psychologists get really weirdly creative with all this stuff that they come up with.
This is like,
and I love it.
It's like the writer's room, just a bunch of people with PhDs. Like, all right, so we want to piss up this couple. What's the fastest way we can do this and the cheapest way possible?
Yep, and we need to be able to standardize it across all couples. What would universally piss off couples? Yeah, and we have $1 million in grant funding to do this.
Yeah, we're gonna be tenure for life, boys and girls.
Yep. So this one is called, well, I named this one Writing Down Your Living Room. So this is an ingenious method of inducing aggression where you bring couples into a lab and you have them both do a writing task across from each other at a table. One of them is supposed to write down everything in their living room.
Okay.
The other is supposed to write down everything that they dislike about their partner.
Okay.
The kicker is that they both think they're doing the same writing task.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course. Yeah. Hey,
so they're sitting across from a table.
Yeah. Can you recollect what you did yesterday? And you write 5 reasons why he fucking sucks.
Yeah. Write down the 5 times he really made you like question your relationship. Like, Jesus Christ. I came in for a free lunch.
I just want some clam chowder.
Yeah.
Some bottomless soup in here. Okay. Hey. So they both think they're doing this.
Yep. So the person writing down everything in their living room, they're probably racing furiously, writing boom, 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 boom. They're and their partner across the table sees them just racing, writing down like 2 pages worth of stuff. Yeah. And they're like, how are they writing so much stuff?
This is so funny. Okay. And the other person's like trying to like think of like, oh gosh.
I know, like, sometimes leaves his socks out, you know?
Yeah. Doesn't wash his dishes when he says he will.
Like, yeah. Yep. Do you have any extra paper?
Wow. You see the other person mapping out some stuff with their fingers. Oh
my God, there's a flow chart.
All right, so there's the living room, there's a bed, and the other person's just like, what is he mapping out?
Do you have any rulers or protractors? He's making diagrams.
What?
Oh man. All right, so that's a genius one. Yeah,
that's fun. That's fun.
I was like, wow. To come up with that, I was like, I would love to get paid to come up with these.
And so, just to going back to the so then they would follow up with one of those like induce like the measurement tools, right? Okay.
Yep.
Got you.
And then you could test different like conflict resolution strategies. So another one is this one is a more straightforward method. I just coined it the irritation discussion.
Okay.
So you have a couple come in, you separate them in cubicles. And then you have them each write down 2 or 3 of the most irritating issues that have occurred with their partner. They'll write for 5 minutes, and then they come back into the same room together, and then they're told to discuss the irritating issues that they wrote down. So that's one way to induce aggression.
That's not as exciting, but all right.
It's not, but it's I like the image of just like some psychologists behind a 2-way mirror just watching this couple fight, and they're like they have a little notebook, and the couple's like, you always do this, why can't you just be nicer to my parents? And the psychologist just pushes up his glass like, interesting. Coding the data. Okay, here's your $20. You're free to go. And they just ruined this relationship.
Yeah, I was about to ask is like how many relationships were like because basically just don't end overnight, right? It's a building up to this point, and I wonder how
Yeah.
many couples like already are on the rocks for whatever reason, and the study just brings up a whole bunch of stuff that they should have
Yeah.
talked through the past couple of months, but they decided to do it in this study for a $50
Yeah.
gift card.
It's like a weird environment where you're like, this stuff should be happening in like couples therapy.
Sure, yeah.
But
Sure,
this is
yeah.
like not a controlled environment. It's like a little lab. It's probably like, I don't know, just an office with a couple desks in it.
Yeah. No,
And afterwards, it's like, yeah, all right, like, bye.
Yeah, and it was like a necessarily like they're researchers, right? They're not therapists.
Yeah, they're not trained therapists.
No, yeah, and they're not necessarily trying to therapize you. They're trying to induce behaviors because
They're trying to do the opposite.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they really want you to be angry.
They're trying to have you guys fight.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last one, I love this one because it connects back to the voodoo doll task.
Okay. Oh boy.
I call it creative drawing.
Uh-huh.
So one great way of inducing aggression is telling. So you have couples come in again, and you tell participants that their romantic partner is going to evaluate their creative abilities. So they give participants paper and colored pencils.
Okay.
And then they ask them to draw the most creative picture they could that included a house, car, tree, and 2 people.
Okay.
After finishing the drawing, the experimenter collects the drawing and tells participants that their romantic partner, who is in a different room, would evaluate its creativity.
Okay.
Experimenters also told them that they would receive a monetary reward for more creative drawings based on their partner's evaluation. So
Okay.
there was a max of $5, but only if their partner gave them the best creativity rating. It was a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all creative, 10 being extremely creative.
Okay.
So in the condition designed to provoke aggression, participants received false feedback that their partner rated their drawing as a 3 out of 10.
So the researchers just are straight up lying to them.
Yeah. Yep. So they give them false feedback. Hey, your partner gave you a 3 out of 10. Experimenters even told participants that their partner had commented that their drawing was, quote, not that great and really boring, and that they were, quote, disappointed in them.
I could not do this research study with a straight face, Chris, if I was a researcher.
Yeah, so that was the aggressive condition. In the non-aggression condition, participants received false feedback that their partner scored them a 9 out of 10 on the creativity scale.
Okay.
An experimenter just told the participants that their partners commented their drawing was, quote, fantastic and really creative, and that they were, quote, really proud of them.
Right.
In reality, their partners didn't even see the photo, the drawing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because like if they I only asked that earlier if they both knew, because it's sort of like wouldn't they just rate it high anyways if they both knew like there was something monetarily to gain from it?
Yeah. That's why you got to do the false feedback.
Yeah.
So they got randomly assigned to one of those 2 conditions, and they go through that where they get the false feedback that, your drawing was shit, not creative, and I'm disappointed in you, or it was really good. And then, while still alone in the room,
wait,
the
there's more?
There's more.
I thought that was it.
While still alone in the room, the experimenters tell them that, hey, since the feedback may have been upsetting, that they'll get an opportunity to release some negative energy.
Oh.
This is when they get a voodoo doll to stab the shit out of.
Wait, how did he set this up? This feels so out of left field. It's like, oh,
yeah.
By the way, I have your partner, and the voodoo doll looks exactly like them. I have him right here.
It has a little wig with the same color outfit.
Yeah, but you have a fucking research assistant in the back. Like as soon as they walk in, it's like, oh fuck, I have to make this voodoo doll real quick.
I have to find the outfits. Have a whole closet of like a Barbie wardrobe.
Yeah.
So they give them a voodoo doll representing their romantic partner and a box of pins, being like, hey, if you just want to release some negative energy, have at it. And funnily enough, When participants got the negative feedback on their drawings, they stabbed more pins in the voodoo doll.
Right. Jeez.
We are simple creatures, man.
What a weird setup, though. I was like, you know what I do when I want to relieve stress? Put some pins in some dolls that look like my friends and family. And you know what?
It's like
Hey, I suggest you do the same.
hey, it's the classic trope of, putting a like burning pictures of people, or putting a picture of somebody on a dartboard and you're throwing darts at them.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's
the same thing,
symbolic.
Yeah.
All right, so that was 5 measures of aggression and 3 manipulations of aggression. If you're still here, thank you so much for listening. If you want, you can boop the like button or subscribe or follow to keep up with our content.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Bye.